Okay, and I think I am ready to go ahead and get started. Let me change up the scene. Hey everyone, it is Zume here, and I thought I would mix it up today and go with a just chatting stream. It's been a while. In fact, it's been so long that when I looked to find the last time I did one, I couldn't find one. Like, it's been more than a month or two, so it's been a hot minute. I have my cup of oolong tea, delectable, and yeah, some good music. Should be a nice, relaxed stream today. Okay. Let me pull up chat again. It's funny, I updated from Stream Elements to a different chat, like an open, not an open source, but like a GitHub chat repo. And it's funny, they updated and got rid of an experimental feature that I really liked, which was a feature that let you keep the chat on top of like whatever application you have it on. So yeah. Don't you just hate it when, you know, a piece of software you like and use gets updated and it removes a feature that you're like, oh my gosh, this is such a good feature. Oh, wait, I just realized I need to change my stream info. I knew I was forgetting something. Okay, let me do that now. Sorry about that. Oh, still so scuffed, Zume. Okay. There we go. And let me refresh. Is this updated? Yes, just chatting. Tea time with Uncle Zume. Okay. Good thing I caught that kind of early before like a Twitch admin got on my case. Okay, that's that. Oops. Okay, I need to make a note to self to update stream titles before hitting stream buttons. Or go stream. Gosh, I'm just so used to Stream Elements where it will like, you know, it used to be like with Stream Elements, whenever you hit go live, it would like ask you to put in your stream title and everything before you went live. And I kind of miss that because it was really nice. It forced me to remember what I was going to name the stream. As for things to discuss, it's funny, I didn't really have any topics. I was like, you know what? It's just been a hot minute since a just chatting stream, so I'll go in kind of completely blind without anything prepared. What else? Okay, so I did my break-in of my new mouse and mousepad yesterday, and it's funny. I still really love the feel of this mousepad. Just like you can hear the like the texture. It's so rough and gritty. It's kind of sandpapery, which is weird for a mousepad, but still very nice. Oh, let me remember. Put chat on top. What else? I guess while I'm trying to think of something, I'll just sip on some tea. Ooh, this is really hot. Come on, little infuser. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I was thinking of updating my background image. So, you see the nice house in the background? I was like, this is nice, but, you know, I decided I want to update it to an animated background. So I'm currently looking for one. Yeah, if anyone has any suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep on going on Booth and, you know, looking at what they have. Yeah, I know, like, VGen is the big thing amongst VTubers, but I will be honest, I prefer Booth over VGen, even though Booth is, like, in Japanese. But, like, you know, the prices are a lot better. Yeah, just, like, I guess it's kind of more like the Wild West when you go on Booth. Hey, Nine Time, welcome, welcome. Oh, let me... Okay, click on that. How are you doing, Nine Time? Enjoying your summer break? I gotta say, I feel good not having to do Japanese homework every week. But I also feel like I'm getting lazy and not studying as much as I should, which is gonna make, you know, the summer session really, really tough. The only problem is that I don't have enough to do anymore. That's a good problem. That's when you get to explore, like, new hobbies and stuff. Like, if you ever want to, oh my gosh, this reminds me. Like, during the pandemic, when I didn't have too much to do, I learned how to bake bread. And I spent, I think maybe everyone kind of went through that phase, where you're like, okay, I gotta stay inside, and I'm going to learn how to make bread the proper way from bakers on the internet. And I really got into bread making. I got really good at it. Like, I baked, like, I don't know, 20 loaves of bread over the course of a few months. And yeah, now I just know the ratios, like, you know, baker's percentages. But yeah, I guess that segue was just commenting on, like, you know, when you have not enough to do, that's when you get to try out new things and see what you like. Hey, Salty John, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I wonder what would be a good background. I guess it'd be considered an oh no, it'd be a video, wouldn't it? Category video. Oh my gosh, would you consider, like, an animated background an illustration or a video? Because, like, it's technically a video, but it's also an illustration, right? You know, isn't illustration anything that you draw or paint or like illustrate? And that can include, like, an animation, which is technically a video. Those categories, not so well defined. I guess I will go to... I, for some reason, 100% unlocked all achievements in Sleeping Dogs in 49 hours. Oh, very nice. Sorry, by the way, I know it probably sounded like I was far from the mic for a bit of that, but I had to, like, lean past my phone to see the ending part of that. Nice. Sleeping Dogs was fun. I enjoyed playing that game. Aren't they making, like, a reboot or something? Hold on. I feel like someone mentioned that when I was playing it. Sleeping dogs. What is it? Are they making a movie? What was it? They're making a live action film. Okay, that's what it is. Movie. Wait, what is it gonna be called? Hold on, game, movie. Okay, that live-action Sleeping Dogs movie based on the hit 2012 game is in development. Okay, they haven't announced the release date yet. They're still doing pre-production and casting. That'll be cool. I wonder who they're gonna pick for, Way. That'll be really interesting. I don't know. I really hope they bring back, or like in Hollywood, there's been like a dearth of like old school I don't want to say old school, but Hong Kong style like kung fu action movies. And I really hope this kind of like brings that trend back. Hey Artemisi, welcome, welcome. I saw you were having some fun playing Warframe. It was interesting. You actually got me to download Warframe. I have it on my PC now, but I have not opened it. Maybe one day I'll be able to play with y'all, but I'm, I gotta learn the game first. But Space Ninja sounds interesting. Okay, the guy from the Marvel 10 is going to be Wei Sheng. Oh! Man, okay, I remember that. He's pretty cool. He's in very good shape. I liked that movie. Was it 10 rings, 7 rings, something like that? Okay, yeah, Shang-Chi. Yeah. That'll be cool. What is his name? Tony Lung Cho Wai. Okay. I'm happy you downloaded it, EP. Thank you. From what I've read, Warframe is considered one of the best free-to-play games of like all time. And I don't know why I've slept on it for so long then. Maybe I'm just really biased and I feel like free-to-play games tend to, not be worth the time investment. But considering how much time I've invested into like Marvel Rivals and stuff, that isn't really a good excuse. So I'm definitely gonna try it out. Simu Liu. Oh, okay, sorry. Simu Liu is going to be Wei Shen. Ooh, that's gonna be cool. Can't believe Mount Goofy spawn jump melee on death by 1,000 cut. Wait, what? Can't believe you're Goofy, but spawn jumped melee on death by 1,000 cut. First 2 hour of the game. So how are you guys doing tonight? You wake up? Me meant to say spam jump attack. Oh, yeah. I mean, jump attack's pretty strong. I feel like jump attack is always really good in games. There we go, word. English, yeah. I feel you on that. Man, I was thinking on the topic of 10 rings, have you ever wanted to get like a custom like ring just to have one and then make one? Or not like make one, but get one commissioned and made? Because I don't know, I was thinking about it and I realized it seems kind of like hard to get a custom ring made. Like imagine you want something like super unique, like something like Lord of the Rings unique. Like if you ever seen the Lord of the Rings movies and you look at the rings, they're all really, really cool and detailed and unique. And I always thought like, it'd be really cool to have one, just as like an accent thing, and then be able to pass it down as like an heirloom. Having a chill evening, that's good, that's good. Me, I'm doing well, I got to go to the gym, did my leg day, lots of squats, which, you know, feels good. I feel really bad because I skipped leg day last week, so I was like, you know what? I need to go hard today. This week I need to, you know, really, you know, lift some weights. Heirlooms are nice. They are. I feel like I'm slowly collecting them. Like I have a like a leather jacket that is really well made that will probably outlive me. And then I have like a leather messenger bag that will also probably outlive me. And I'm like, it's gonna be cool, like knowing that like one day that someone is going to get these things that I carried around with me my entire life, or not entire life, but for a large chunk of it, and they'll be able to get the same kind of use out of it that I did. As long as I keep taking good care of it and all that stuff. It is always cool when that stuff happens. But I guess the trick is always finding someone who's going to really appreciate, you know, their inheritance. Leg day twins? Yeah. Yeah, it was a good day. Did some squats, deadlifts, leg extension, leg curl. What is it? The little calf. I forgot what the calf thing is called. Calf press? Something like that. Like when you put weight on your shoulders and then you like lift up off the edge of a surface with your toes. Doing that. Yeah, just doing a lot of leg exercises and pull-ups. I don't know, but I always do pull-ups whenever I'm at the gym because I don't have a pull-up bar at home. And wait, I take that back. I do have a pull-up bar at home. It's just blocked by stuff right now, so I can't really use it. But yeah, whenever I go to the gym, I always like try to do pull-ups. And they always like, I don't know, doing like dead hang pull-ups always makes me feel kind of like in good shape. Because I remember one time like not being in good enough shape that I couldn't do a single pull-up, and eventually working my way up, and now I can do several just like from a complete hang without too much effort, and it feels good. It's like a sudden growth thing. It's like, okay, I couldn't do one before, but now I can do multiple, and it feels good. It's like progress. Calf raises, yeah. That must be the exercise. I don't know, I thought calf press, because it's like you're pushing something. But that makes sense, calf raises. Oh, I forgot to test. Oh, okay, yeah, chat is popping up. That sounds very motivating, looking how much you improved in hindsight. Honestly, I feel like that's the main motivation for me to go to the gym, is the improvement. Like, I know eventually I won't improve very much, but it's always nice, like, you know, you go, you lift some weight, it's hard, then you take a rest, and it gets a little easier every time, and you're like, whoa, my body's adapting. It can grow still. Despite being an uncle, I'm getting stronger. I don't know. I'm very growth oriented in that, you know, it's always nice seeing yourself get better at something, and that's like its own reward. What? Cute emote, John. Cute. You're munching something? I'm just imagining a dog like going to doing the whole like light Death Note potato chip thing. I take a potato chip and I eat it. Can't afford gym? Me walk all over the map? Me too. I mean, yeah, for me, like, my gym membership is like $20 a month, so it's not too expensive. Yeah, but definitely worth it. And walking is definitely the way to get started, or just to stay in shape in general. On a mall 16 kilometers away from my house, I'll be there. Oh. Ooh. 16 kilometers? How much is that? That's like 10 miles? That would be wild if you ran that. Yeah, my gym is a lot closer to my place. It's like, I don't know, like a mile. I could probably jog there if I wanted to, but it's hot and I get lazy. So a lot of times I just drive. Maybe when it's colder, I'll jog. Or like jog to the gym. I do like jog and run, but not not to like get to the gym. I figure like, you know, I'm on this moment of my life where I don't have really much to do. I don't like have to work. I don't have to take class, or I don't have classes or anything right now. There's nothing like I really have to do. So I kind of want to just see how like how in shape I can get. Natural, of course. I know, man, it's kind of crazy. I'll comment on this. Like out at the gym, I heard like these guys talking about like, you know, their gear and peptides and all this stuff to like get their gains and maximize them. And I was like, dude, why are you guys doing that? Like, you realize 90% of like the gym stuff is in the kitchen, like just based off of your diet. And then the purpose of the gym is just to stimulate your muscles. Like, you don't need to have like all of these like drugs and things that you're going to inject in yourself to try and improve yourself. You have surgery on your right leg, can't hold much weight. Oh, that's rough. Hopefully, yeah, you're able to build up the like build up your right leg so that it's you know, stronger over time. But I know how rough it can be with an injury. I remember I got injured skateboarding as a kid, and it sucked because I couldn't lift my leg higher than like, yeah, I basically couldn't just like lift my leg higher than waist height. Like my knee, like I couldn't actually bring my knee to my chest after the injury. And it was like that for more than 6 months. Yeah, it sucked. It sucked because it like affected everything, having a leg injury. They removed the muscle because, oh my gosh. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's rough. That is rough. Yeah. But I hope it's getting easier at least. Like you're more acclimated to the change. What else? What else? Things that I've been thinking of doing lately. Oh. Yeah, I've been thinking of just taking like, or like going to the library and then borrowing a like a piano instruction book and then officially getting my piano instruction. Because like I haven't taken lessons or been officially instructed since I was a kid. And so I wonder, like, you know, if I do one of these adult curriculums, how will I improve? How's the new keyboard and mouse? Well, no new keyboard. Yeah, I have the same keyboard, but I have a new mouse and mouse pad. The mouse is like a, what is it, an ATK X1, which is like a copy of the Razer Viper V3. So I went from a Logitech G305 that I had since like, man, I forgot, like 2015? Because I got that mouse when I was in school for my degree, and I just never upgraded it. I was just like, you know what, it works, it's wireless, it's not the best gaming mouse, but it's pretty good for productivity, it's low-key, like, I don't know, I'm one of those people who hate things that scream gamer, like, nothing that I own is RGB. I don't do like clear glass cases on my PC and stuff like that. Like at one point I went through that phase, but then I was like, you know, this is kind of silly. Oh, thank you, kid, for the head pats. Yeah, but the new mouse that I got, this ATK X1, it's super light. It's like 50 something grams, which is like half the weight of the G305. And yeah, it's super smooth. It has the mechanical switches, which I prefer. I don't know if like you guys have noticed, but mice have been moving towards like optical switches, which I don't like. Like if you click a mouse with an optical switch, it feels different than like a mechanical switch. Hi. Ooh. You got a stat. Oh, your stat got nerfed hard. One of your kidneys was crushed because of an accident when I was crossing the road, and now I can't work myself. That's wild. I am so sorry to hear that. Man, it seems like you have a really good outlook on things, though. Like, it might have happened a long time ago, or I don't know how long ago it is. But, yeah, Salty John. You always, I mean, despite your name, you've never come off as salty. You've always come off as pretty friendly and happy. So, I'm happy you don't let those things get to you. Half the time, I still feel like a dead weight. I can feel you on that. It's hard. A lot of times when we want to help out a team or something, the hardest part is knowing where we can contribute and make a meaningful difference. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I imagine all teamwork is kind of like a relay race, where everyone kind of has their own speciality. Some specialities are more useful than others, but everyone can be useful if they want to be. But the hard part, and I think like the role of management oftentimes, is to allocate people based off of their ability. But I completely get your feeling of dead weight. I feel like that all the time whenever I go to like, I don't know, something like, whenever I see people doing something, even like if I go to a friend's house and they're cooking dinner, I usually try and ask to help them. Like, I just don't like feeling useless, you know what I mean? Like I'm not contributing. So, I can understand that. Yeah, and Arte, regarding the piano, I was thinking, yeah, just trying an adult, like, course, not really a course, but like book set, to like round out my weaknesses. Because I know for sure one of my weaknesses in piano playing are my fingerings. I usually play what is just comfortable rather than what is optimal. And yeah, that's usually not the best way of learning or like practicing piano. For instance, like when something gets like if there's a really repetitive part in a song, then I might cross my fingers just to like play it a little bit easier and faster. Even though I know it's generally something you don't want to do. Like, you don't want to like cross your fingers. It's like crossing your feet when you're running or something. It's easy to get tripped up. The hugging emote. Or, sorry, emoji. Gosh, I always mix up emote and emoji. Like, they're so similar. I guess emoji is just like a universal emote, right? Playing piano has so many rules. I mean, it does, but I don't know. It's kind of like one of those things where it's like any instrument, you should probably... Like, if your goal in playing an instrument is just to have fun, then don't worry about the rules. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to learn guitar, or like you want to learn guitar and you just want to play guitar for fun, like, ignore people who tell you the rules. Just do what you want that's like producing fun for you. You know what I mean? then if you eventually your like motivations change and you want to go from having fun to getting good, then you can start looking at the rules and things like that. But I think a lot of people, they get into this kind of trap where they feel like they have to optimize the fun out of whatever their hobby is, and it's kind of silly. Like for instance, streaming is a hobby of mine. I enjoy it, I'm having fun with it, but I'm not going to like try and burn myself out or like, you know, do the optimal thing. I should always post on Twitter and you know, post schedules and all this stuff and be super consistent with everything. It's like, you know, if I do that, then it's not going to be something I enjoy doing anymore, because then it's just going to feel like work. Please hold this for me. Emotes and emojis are basically synonyms at this point. Wait, what is that emote that you asked me to hold? Okay, it didn't appear right in my chat. I have to look it in. Oh, is that a you know, an explosive device? Oh, those emotes are new. Very nice. Ah, you see, those are pretty cool. The breakdancing one, I like that one. D Viper. Yeah, D Viper seems to have some really cool emotes. It's a cougar throwing a sticky bomb. Ah, that's fun. That is fun. Wait, kid, is that an emote of you like blasting a love Kamehameha wave? That's pretty awesome. I can just imagine the Kamehameha that whole thing. Man, I remember watching so much Dragon Ball Z growing up, and you know, like whenever Goku would do Spirit Bomb and he's like, everyone put your hands in the air and give me your energy, I would totally do that as a kid. And then whenever he was saying like Kamehameha, I would say everything. Man, I kind of like look back and I probably look like what is it, Midoriya from My Hero Academia by how much like I liked Goku. You have one of Bane you did too? Oh, I like it. He's doing the. I don't know if I can do the face. The leaned back like disapprove. I don't know if it's disapproving or the like upturned nose face. It's based on a pic of him? Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. You know, have you ever wondered what it would be like if you posted like a photo of your like pet and it became a viral meme? Like imagine the woman who was the owner of the Doge dog who just like posted a picture of her dog one day and then it turned into a viral meme on the internet, along with like the grumpy cat person who posted a picture, and then like the next thing you know, pictures of your cat are everywhere and there's just like all these memes being made of it, and you're like imagine that, like the lady with the Doge dog and she's like, wow, Dogecoin, they made a cryptocurrency after my dog and Elon Musk is backing it as a meme. Like that must be so surreal. I don't, yeah, I can't imagine. I'd probably like, reality isn't real. This is a dream, and yeah, I must need to wake up or something. It was his reflection in his mirror. Oh, that's cute. So he was just like staring at his reflection. He's like, I can see up my nose. I feel that. Sometimes when I'm in front of the mirror, I'm like, Zume, is there something in my nose? Is there a, do I need to, you know, blow it or something? These ones, the bloop and the paw. Oh. Having a famous pet sounds super fun though. I don't know. It kind of seems like it'd be a little stressful. Maybe not. I don't know. I feel like people are very unlikely to recognize a famous pet, you know what I mean? Like, there are people on YouTube, like with the, like huskies and golden retrievers. that have YouTube pages for their dogs, and those pages have like millions of subscribers, but I don't think they get recognized that much in real life, because like you're like, oh, a golden retriever is like, how are you gonna know that's that particular golden retriever? Or same thing with like a husky, like, you know, every black and white husky kind of looks the same, versus people, yeah, people you can recognize because they're pretty unique. But even then, sometimes you meet someone and you're like, oh, you look just like Keanu Reeves or something. And they're like, I'm not Keanu Reeves. And I was like, can I still get a photo? Just because you look so much like him. No, I promise. I don't actually go up to people and ask for photos. Just because they look like a famous person. Oh, that reminds me of a time I did meet some famous people. Did I ever tell you guys about the time I was on a plane with the famous or infamous, depending on your perspective, Ron Jeremy, for like a flight from Chicago to Austin, Texas? It was very interesting. Yeah. The legend, Mr. Ron Jeremy. Actually, I wonder, do kids know who he is? I say kids. Oh my gosh, why am I saying that? Do people younger than me know who Ron Jeremy is? Reminds me I gotta reach out to an artist. Been waiting since Jan for some emotes. Man, that is a long time for some emotes. I always wonder, like, do like artists have this like huge queue system where they like block out their work and they're like, okay, I'm gonna knock out this thing this week, this thing this week, blah blah blah, and then like have it super scheduled out? Because I thought about it, and I feel like people who get into art for a living probably aren't the most organized people, so they probably don't do that. So it seems like a lot of artists probably just kind of like go by feel. They're like, oh, this is the due date. But I know a lot of artists, you know, there's the stereotype that they like to push back due dates, or they'll make an excuse like, oh, my drawing tablet broke, or oh, I have okay, I shouldn't call this an excuse, but I feel like everyone's done it at one point where they've called their like work and been like, hey, I'm feeling sick, even though you weren't actually sick, just so you didn't have to go to work that day. And I feel like artists probably do the same thing, but they tell their client like, hey, I'm feeling sick, sorry, I couldn't work on it. You know, I don't want to say that most do that, but I'm certain there are some that do. They got 1/3 done. I love their work, but they keep taking more comms, but taking forever to finish owed stuff. Ooh, that's a dangerous cycle. Yeah, if you keep taking more work and your queue just keeps growing, then eventually you're going to burn out and you're going to feel trapped, and it's going to come crashing down, and a lot of people get angry. That's what my experience is with that kind of stuff. I have like a strategy of keeping expectations super low. Like if I think something will take 3 days to do, I will tell someone that it will take a week and a half. Basically, I say like double the time, or sometimes even triple the time. And then I always like over deliver. So I found, just in case like something weird happens, like there's a family emergency or, you know, life happens, then you have some leeway. And yeah. It's unfortunate because everything I've gotten from them has looked fantastic. That's the hard part. Yeah. The quality is there. It's just, you know, the business management side. But, you know, they're probably doing that for a reason. They need more income, and maybe they're more, how can I say it? More sensitive about raising prices. I know a lot of people are like that, where they don't want to overprice their stuff and miss out on potential commissions. But they also, you know, don't want to be overwhelmed by work. Communication needs work, but the finished stuff looks great. That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like artists should probably have a system similar to like tattooers, where you build a rapport Um, and maybe like, how can I say it? So a lot of like places they will do, if you know the artist and develop a friendship and rapport with them, then their prices typically will be lower for you than what they are for the public. Just because you're easy to work with, they know that you'll pay on time and all that stuff. I feel like artists probably should do that in general, where it's like you have one price listed for the public, like the people who will commission and never see you again. And then like after you develop a kind of like relationship with a customer, then you can be like, hey, you're easy to work with. You don't like nag me all the time or constantly ask me to do changes and stuff. So I'll give you a different pricing structure. Zero issues waiting, just wish they communicate more. Yeah, I feel that. It's probably it's probably similar to like, the whole communication thing is probably one of the reasons why people don't like corporate jobs. Like if you ever get an office job, you realize half of your time is just spent sending emails, replying to emails, and doing silly stuff like that, and being in meetings that really don't need to exist. Yeah, and I feel like when you're an artist, you probably don't want to get bogged down by that stuff. You just want to like, do the work, get it out, and then move on. Drink more tea. Okay. I just finished my tea, so I am going to take a quick break, grab some more, and be right back. See you guys in a bit. Okay, I'm back. Bum bum bum. There we go. There was an artist I worked with somewhat recently that I thought ghosted me for a few months, but turned out they got banned from the site you spoke to them on. What'd they get banned for? That seems kind of like a red flag. Like, what could you be doing that is ban worthy? That said, I don't know. Some site admins, they go a little crazy. Welcome back. Thank you, thank you. No idea. Oh man, that reminds me of I don't know if you guys like to keep up with like VTuber drama just for fun, but I sometimes do, just for the amusement. You know, it's funny. I avoid drama in my life like the plague, but when I see someone else have some drama, it's like a dumpster fire where I'm like, ooh, let's you know, my curiosity is piqued. Let's take a look inside. Yeah, but this kind of reminded me that, yeah, recently there's been like some drama with, I think, Hollow Stars, where I think 6 of their talents left Cover Corp in the last, I don't know, like super recently. And it seems like they're going to possibly shut down like the whole branch. Which is kind of crazy, because now that I'm thinking about it, I don't say it's kind of crazy, but now that I think about it, the only like big male VTubing agency other than Niji-Sanji was Covercore. And so if they're closing like that branch down, then pretty much Niji-Sanji will have the monopoly over the male VTuber, like corpo VTuber market, which will be interesting. Because I know they have their own kind of reputation for, yeah, they have their own reputation. You'll have to send it to me? Nice. I will take a look at it after the stream. Actually, what am I doing? This is a just chatting stream. I can look at it now. I'm so used to that, saying that, because usually I'm playing a game or something, and I'm like, I don't want to stop playing a game to check it out. Ooh, that is a nice emote. Very nice quality. I like the sketch, the work in... Okay, it's like a scheming emote, like, ha 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 ha. I'm scheming. That's a... Your soul has left your body, completely exhausted. Oh, I like it. I like it. Those are good emotes. Very nice. Super detailed. Whoa. Okay. The cool animation coming out of the computer. Very cool. Very spicy too. Some. I shouldn't say super spicy. Just you know, it's got a little bit of spice. Love a little bit of spice. I do love a little bit of spice. I mean, you know, whenever I cook food, you know, I add some chili powder to it. It's funny, back when I lived with someone, they were like, yeah, I can't really eat your food, Zume. Like, you cook really well, but you by default add way too much spice to it for me. And I was like, oh, that sucks. Like, because I know that the food tastes different if you add the spice in while cooking, and then you let it, like, cook with the spice, versus if you add it in at the very end. But, yeah, because of living with that person, I had to tone down my cooking. And now I'm in the hobbit habit of adding spice post-fact. Hobbit, yes, hobbit. I'm just a, you know, short guy with big feet that lives in a hole in New Zealand. That reminds me, one day I want to visit, you know, the Hobbiton place in New Zealand. Though I know it's kind of, you know, it's different in real life when you visit, because you realize there's nothing behind the doors. It's just like they built this landscape, but they're not real. Like when you look through the windows, there's just dirt. It was just like a movie set where everything is kind of fake. But it's kind of still cool to see. You can go into some of them? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought all of them were kind of like fake and, yeah, not really carved out. That's cool. Maybe it's, what is it, Bag End? That might be one of the few that was fully fleshed out. That reminds me of, like, it must be kind of weird going on sets and stuff where, like, imagine being in the entertainment industry and you're like, ooh, this looks good. This is like some fruit on a tray, and then you realize it's fake fruit. And you're like, oh, that sucks. And you're like, no, all the food is at the, what do they call it? The spread table? I forgot what they call it in the film industry, where they have all the food, like, at a single table. And then people just go and grab it when they get hungry. It used to be that way, but when they brought back the set for The Hobbit, it was made more permanent. Ah, okay, that's good to know. That would be cool, visiting New Zealand and visiting Hobbiton. Or, yeah, just visiting New Zealand in general would be really cool, because it's one of the prettiest places in the world. When are we gonna go? Who knows? I gotta do my Japan trip first. Then I'll, you know, maybe if I'm on that side of the planet, I'll stop by on the way back. But I remember looking up flights to New Zealand, and I was like, my gosh, these things are so long. Going from the US to New Zealand, like, my gosh, these flights are insane. Because you're, like, not only going from north, the southern hemisphere, but you're going, like, literally to the opposite side of the planet. So you're going, like, as far as you possibly can be. Yeah, so the flights are super long and pretty expensive. So if I ever do visit New Zealand, I'd want it to be for, like, a good amount of time. So I, you know, I feel like I got my money's worth. Yeah, whenever I went to Thailand, I was just like, I just spent 23 hours on a plane. I am so, like, yeah, it makes me, like, not want to go to Thailand just remembering that flight. Oh my gosh. Like, at least Japan is only, like, 13 hours, I think. But for some reason, if you go, like, man, or if you're flying to India or something, oh my gosh. It's so long. Come on, tea. Infuse. Please. Become stronger tasting. What else have I been keeping up with recently? Oh, here's a fun fact that I discovered, I think last night when I was going to sleep. So, did you guys know Gabe N, like Gabe Newell, the owner of Steam and Valve, or I should say the owner of Valve, did you know that, like, he owns, like, a mega yacht and owns a diving company and, like, spends a lot of his time deep sea diving and doing, like, discoveries at the bottom of the ocean? Like, I recently found out that, like, he has this company called Inkfish. He owns a diving company. No joke. Gabe N. He owns a company called Inkfish, and they have, like, 122, was it meter long yacht? That has, like, world-class diving submersibles that can go to, like, the bottom of the ocean. And, like, they recently, I think, did a trip to Japan. and they surveyed the bottom of the Japanese Ocean, and or like some special area, and they basically discovered new like life forms. Like they discovered a new animal that biologists, or I don't know, who are the people who decide like what like group or species or something like a new animal is? I think biologists, right? Zoologists. But like they discovered a new animal at the bottom of the ocean and have kind of like no idea how to classify it. And like there's a debate on whether it's a type of sea slug. It kind of looks like a starfish combined with a sea slug. But there's debate on whether it's more related to like a sea cucumber or a sea slug. I can't believe this is the same guy from Steam. Well, apparently, like Gaben rarely goes to the office. Like from what I've heard, he's like, yeah, I own my yacht, or I own my yacht. I live on it. I work like, do 8 hours of work for Valve on my yacht, and then on my free time, I do deep sea diving. And I'm like, geez, Gaben, you're like the coolest dude in the world. Like low key, so cool. Kind of an interesting hobby though. You're like the guy who makes Valve, or who owns Valve, also really, really likes deep sea diving. And I promise I'm not making this up. Just like look up Inkfish, which is the company that he's known for. I think they're a non-profit actually. Inkfish. Yeah, Inkfish is most prominently known as a marine research and deep sea exploration organization founded by Valve co-founder Gabe Newell, operating an advanced global fleet dedicated to cataloging deep sea biodiversity and studying extreme oceanic environments. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, especially when you look at the yacht, you're like, yo, this thing is massive. Like, this puts this puts some like Navy vessels to shame in how big it is. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. Like, man, it's so funny. Like, Gaben had so much money. He didn't just buy the yacht. He bought the company that makes the yacht and the shipyard where that company is located. So, if you're curious about what Steam is using some of your money for, know that it's partially being used to fund deep sea exploration. It is. I don't think I've ever met someone that goes diving. Yeah, I would joke and say that like Gaben is playing like IRL Subnautica, and he's just like, I want to go into the abyss and see all the things there, and that's pretty cool. That's very adventurous. IRL Subnautica is a good one. I didn't make that up. I can't take credit for it. But it is a good one. I was just so surprised. Like, imagine having that kind of money and you're like, you know what? I can do anything I want for the rest of my life. What do I want to do? I want to journey into the abyss and study it. Like literally into the abyss. I mean, that's pretty metal, to be honest. Very metal of Gaben. I bet he was just like, you know what? We know less about the bottom of our ocean than we do the surface of the moon. So I'm going to fix that, and I'll dedicate my life to fixing that, like, gap in knowledge. It's really cool that there are people like that. Who they're like, I'm also having fun doing it, so it's kind of selfish, but I'm also advancing human knowledge. If you could take up any risky hobby without consequences, what would you pick? Ooh. That is a very good question. It probably wouldn't be an action sport thing, so like... Yeah, I probably wouldn't want to do, like, I don't know, motocross or something. Or, like, cliff diving, and anything that's, like, meant to be very action sportsy. Um, but I always thought mountaineering was cool, but then I found out like a lot of mountains have just been degraded by tourists and things like that. So, the achievement of climbing a mountain isn't really what it used to be. I guess if I could take up any risky hobby, I'd want to be like a real adventurer or like a real explorer. Because there are a lot of places on Earth that still haven't really been fully explored. Like deep parts of the Amazon, other places as well. Probably a lot of places in Africa have just not been explored by any Western people. Like maybe locals have some ideas of it, but I think that would be pretty cool. I guess like as a risky hobby, it'd be kind of fun to like visit places that are alleged to have like ghosts and spooky spirits and stuff and document the experience. Yeah, something like that. Oh, that sounds amazing. Imagine all the mesmerizing things you get to see. Yeah, I think the coolest thing would be knowing that like you're one of the first people to ever see this and you get to share this experience with other people by bringing back the knowledge. I don't know, that feeling of like, leaving your mark on humanity somehow, because I don't know, sometimes I get very philosophical and I think like, what's the really like the point of living? That sounds really depressing, but I mean like as in like, if you're just making money and then, having fun and stuff, no one's gonna like remember you ever existed after like, I don't know, a decade after you die. Maybe within 1 generation, 2 generations max. Like, do you really remember your great grandpa very well? Probably not, right? But if your great grandpa was like a famous explorer who did things that were really hard, but they changed like, part of human knowledge and added to the total knowledge of humanity, then that would be pretty cool. Which I feel like a lot of people have that same thing or same idea, especially men. They're like, all right, I want to leave my mark on the world somehow. And then for some people, it's like, I'm going to start a family and build a dynasty and everything and, all that stuff. And then other people, they're like, I want to, become a subject matter expert in something, like the best, I don't know, biggest streamer or biggest athlete and set some world records or something like that. Yeah. Seems like something that everyone kind of wonders, like, how do I want to leave my mark on the world? No, Inkfish Expeditions. Wow, they have such a cool logo too. I'm just gonna bring this up. Like, Valve comes with like they do some really cool stuff. Or just I guess it's just Gaben. Gaben does some really cool stuff. Okay, let me show this. But this is like their logo. Okay, let me bring it up. Inkfish Expeditions. It looks so cool, right? It's like a Cthulhu Kraken. Yeah, but this is like the yacht, by the way. It's massive. Like, it has a helipad. A helipad. Like, it's not a small yacht. It is a big yacht. 200 million euro contract for the research vessel. So cool, though. Gabe, and he's just like, yep, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the deep sea stuff. Okay, enough of that. Let me get back to the thing. Funky. Oh, it's impressive. Being remembered even after you've gone is definitely an accomplishment. I wonder if my ancestors had the same thought too. I assume they did. I think everyone kind of tries to work and make the world better for the next generation. I say that, but that's definitely not the case. There are definitely people who don't care about the next generation at all. But the good thing is, their ideas tend to die with them. And then the people who do care about the next generation will have kids and raise them and things like that and transmit their good ideas. But yeah, I think every parent just wants to give their kids a better experience growing up than they had. But sometimes it's really difficult to know how to do that. Like, for instance, I think a lot of people who grew up poor, well, I just realized I said that weird. I said poorer. But people who grew up poor, they really, really have this thing about money, and they want to like get as much possible to give their children as much of an advantage as possible, like a college fund and trust fund and everything like that. Make sure they're completely set. But they often don't consider if this is actually the best thing for building like resilient children. You know what I mean? Because like if you have kids and you spoil them and they don't really ever earn anything or suffer hardship, they're not really going to develop as people. Like they're not going to develop certain traits like resilience or endurance or perseverance or grit. The things that are valuable. Instead, they're going to develop a love of money and a fear of losing it, because that's all they've ever known. So I always think like rich people like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates who have kids and say that they're not going to really leave anything for their kids. I'm like, that's probably really smart. Your kids will they'll hate you, but they'll probably turn out better for it. You'll never catch me on a boat. You almost drowned when you was young. I don't do well with water. Even just drinking normal water has to be flavored. Ooh. I've almost drowned before, but I'm still okay with water. I do have a thing about the open ocean, because I did fall into the ocean before when I was young. Actually, I was on a sailboat in the Pacific when it capsized. And that was terrifying. Like if you've ever been on a boat or in a boat and then it flips over, and if you're trapped inside, it can be very scary, because there's water and then you get very disorientated and you just kind of have to get out before you drown. And then after that you need to figure out how to lower the sails, because the resistance presents with a sailboat, when it's capsized, the sail will add so much resistance that it might prevent the vessel from righting itself. So you have to go back underneath the boat and then usually lower the sail. But it depends. Yeah, it kind of depends on how it capsizes. Went to Niagara Falls a couple of years back and pushed myself to go on the boat that goes close to the falls, and OMG, I was glued to the seat, terrified. I can understand that. The water, the falling, the heights. It's funny, when it comes to heights, I used to be terrified of heights, but I don't know. After a while, I'm only get nervous when I'm at a height that is low enough where I will probably survive but be severely injured. But once I get above 4 stories, 5 stories, I'm I'm probably just gonna die if I fall down and hit the ground. So I don't really worry about it as much. It's more like the living after falling that would be the more terrifying. That scares me more, to be honest. That's a good point. Raising kids sounds so difficult. How does one figure out the perfect and healthy balance? I don't know. I think you just got to go with it. I think no parent really knows how much is spoiling too much, and then how much is, being too much of a jerk and making your kids' life unnecessarily difficult. I don't know. I don't have kids, and so I'm guessing that's just something parents figure out. Hopefully. That sounds terrifying, both of your experience. Yes, yes. All right, after that experience, I hate sailboats. Like, I don't want to say I hate them. They make me anxious because I know, like, you know, if you're inside, it can be very scary if they capsize. And also the idea, like, sailboats capsize and people go missing and drown and stuff all the time, and it doesn't really make the news because, like, no one really cares, right? Or they don't find the body. They'll just find the boat and they'll be like, oh, well, it's presumed this person has gone missing, or these people have gone missing, and they don't really talk about it. But it happens really often. Yeah. The irony for me was the event happened at a survival camp. Well, they decided it was a good idea to let a bunch of kids play in a river and not pay attention. My foot got caught in the rapids. That is awful. That's terrible. Not paying attention to the kids. Yeah, that'd be scary, especially the rapids. Because, like, you know, once the water gets foamy and oxygenated, or I guess not oxygenated, but aerated, you basically lose all buoyancy and you'll just sink. And, like, yeah. Tips for anyone who's thinking of diving into water: if it looks foamy and, like, very turbulent, don't do it, because, you know, the more aerated water is, the less dense it is, and the more difficult it is to float. They never got in any trouble for it too. My parents didn't believe me and did nothing about it. Oh, that sucks. I feel you on that one. Now I feel like, but I don't know, I'm kind of thinking, I feel like now a lot of times it's the opposite, where parents will often just, like, believe their kids over adults. You know what I mean? Like, if a kid does something bad in school, they'll be like, oh, my kid didn't do anything bad, they said this, and then the teacher's like, no, we have footage of this happening. And then a lot of times parents will just ignore that until they see the footage, and then they're like, oh, okay. Yeah. What else to talk about? Yeah, I've already mentioned, yeah, I have anxiety with sailboats. Mostly on the inside of them. I don't like going on the inside, because yeah, just that experience. But, oh, I don't like helicopters either, but that's just because, like, they're kind of terrifying. Yeah, helicopters are low-key terrifying, especially in the military, where the doors often are not closed, and you just have your seatbelt. And, like, when people don't realize it, when helicopters do a big banking turn, like, you can't see the sky anymore out of one side of the plane, like the helicopter. You just, like, on one side you only see the sky, and on the other side you only see the ground, and, like, you still feel the gravity, like, pulling you down, and you're like, oh, you know, if I wasn't strapped in, I would definitely fall out the side. So I've always been anxious about helicopters because of that, and because they crash a lot and have a really bad survival rate for crashes. You don't mind shallow, calm water or a slow stream, admiring lakes and ocean from a distance? That's good. That is good. I feel like if you've ever been to Lake Tahoe, or ever thought about going, you'd probably like it. I really liked visiting Lake Tahoe, because the water is fairly shallow for most of the lake, especially during the summer, and it's very calm. Like, it's a big lake, but it's not like Great Lakes big. You went there once? It was lovely? Okay, yeah. I love Lake Tahoe. I need to go back one time. Or I shouldn't say one time, eventually. The Sierra Nevada, I would say the Sierra Nevada mountains. They're like my favorite mountain range. You want to get better with it, but it takes time. It does, it does. I used to be terrified of water, and then I kind of just got forced into it. Like, my mom was like, you have to learn how to swim. Like, this isn't optional. You will do it. And then eventually I learned. And yeah. Now I'm mostly just afraid of, like, you know, turbulent waters or something with waves, something that's gonna like wear me down, or like if there's a rip tide, yeah, something like that where there's like strong currents. Sent you a pretty pic. Okay, let me take a look. Discord. Ooh, it is very pretty. Yeah. I miss the Sierra Nevada mountains. That was like one of the small, I shouldn't say a small joy of living in California, but growing up in California and being able to go to the mountains in just a couple hours drive on like I-80, that was a fantastic experience. And it was always interesting because, like, whenever I went there, when you're driving up the mountains, you would see like all these burnt trees and things like that. And I thought it was interesting because I realize as an adult now, this is because they do controlled burns in the north, but in the south, where a lot of the big wildfires happen, for some reason they don't do controlled burns. Like, you will rarely, if ever, hear about like an out of control wildfire in NorCal, because, you know, they're not stupid. They realize like you need to burn the shrubbery, you know, and produce like fertilizer for the next generation, because, you know, when the plants get burned, they make really fertile soil, and then you have saplings that spring up super quickly, and, you know, it's like a cycle of life. But then in Southern California, for some reason, they are so anti like controlled burns, and then they get these out of control wildfires that just like are uncontrollable. It's funny now that I think about it, going back to like the time in Cali, all the adults in NorCal, they would complain about the people in SoCal. They're like, they're stealing our water, and they're, you know, polluting our air with their you know, their fires and stuff. Yeah, there used to be a huge like dislike, I don't want to say dislike, but tension between NorCal and SoCal. It's one of the favorite pictures you've taken. Yeah, it's a good pic. It's a nice pic. It's relaxing. The mountains. Yeah, I know it's like a modern meme for people to say, I'm going to make money and then, you know, say peace out to society and then go live in the mountains. But, you know, if you ever actually do that, you realize it's really hard. Living in the mountains is not easy. Like, it's nice because it's very peaceful and serene, but you also live so far from everything. Like, going to a grocery store is like an experience, and then getting your socializing in is also an experience, and having good internet is also, you know, anything you have to worry about. And yeah, there's just all these things that come with living in the mountains that people often don't consider. I feel like it's kind of like owning a home, where everyone's like, I want to own a home, I want to own a home, I want to own a home. And then people own a home and they're like, why is there so much work? Why do I have to, like, you know, budget for maintenance and upgrades? And then like I have to schedule like, okay, I need to, do my landscaping, all of this stuff. And you're like, this is so much stuff on top of having like a full-time job and, you know, doing all that. So I know a lot of people, they will buy a house, then live in it for like a couple of years, and then they sell it and they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go back to renting and not have to deal with all of the work. So yeah. I guess it's one of those things where it's the grass is always greener on the other side. If you're renting, you're like, I want to buy. If you're buying, you're like, renting was kind of nice. No one is kind of content with where they're at. Mm-hmm. Just doing a big stretch right now. It's so funny how small I get when I lean back in my chair. Just like, I don't know, I feel like I'm slowly fading away. Whoop. And that big stretch, yeah. Big cat needs big stretches. Trying to think, what else have I been working on in my life? Oh, did I mention this yesterday? I finally got that wallet that I found back to the guy. Yeah, to the owner. It was really interesting. He eventually called, like, I thought he would have called me earlier, but, yeah, he waited pretty long. He didn't call me until yesterday, and then eventually stopped by, and I gave it back, and I think he was kind of, like, surprised. He was like, oh, you actually, there's everything's there. I was like, yeah, man, it's, thank you for picking it up. I showed him, like, literally down the block where I found it, and he seemed very happy. You did not doze off, I swear. Artemisi, you should go to sleep if you need it, or if you feel like it, I should say. I'll be honest, I have this, like, kind of fear that I keep you up for too long, and then it has, like, a negative impact on, I don't know, your work or something like that, or your life. So I want everyone to know, if you need to go to sleep or something, please just go to sleep. Don't stay up to watch me. I will feel guilty if you're like super tired the next day because you were, staying up and chatting with me. Don't worry. Okay. I won't. I'm just saying it. If there's ever a time where you're like, oh, I'm really tired at work today, and you're like, Zume started to stream late, so yeah, I went to bed a little later than usual, yeah. I mean, please don't change your bedtime for me. I run on coffee and rage like a chihuahua. Oh, that reminds me, I was just talking to Kit earlier today about how, did you know, like, chihuahuas, one of their main purposes was to be like a living heater? Like, I guess, like, nobles and stuff used to use chihuahuas as, like, hot water bottles to, like, warm their beds and stuff. And, like, chihuahuas, they naturally like burrowing. So if you have, like, blankets and stuff, they will, like, burrow under the blankets and, keep you warm and toasty. And I was like, man, that's so cool. We've had dogs bred for everything. Keeping you warm, rescuing people in the Alps, all of that good stuff. That's quite the aggressive heater. Yeah, I mean, the Chihuahua is also like an alert dog, right? So you have a heater that is also like, will let you know if there's an intruder. So a dual function space heater. Like, imagine that. Imagine if you had a space heater that also, like, had a security function and would let you know if there's an intruder coming in. That's... But all you have to do, still have to, like, walk it and, like, pick up its poop and, take it to the vet. So it's kind of an expensive heater, but very unique. Running on coffee. On the topic of coffee, so I recently discovered like that Phase Connect, the VTuber agency, is kind of like known for making a lot of or selling a lot of coffee. And so I don't know, I was looking at their store and I was like, man, can you imagine like having something made with your face on it, like coffee, and then having to decide like which one you want to be associated with? Like imagine there was Zume coffee. What type of coffee flavor do you think I would be? Like would I be Indonesian Sumatra roast or like a Sumatran bean or like Colombian beans or Brazilian beans? I was like, how do like people decide about this? And do you like choose a product that you think is a best match for your personality, or do you think that's actually going to like taste good and sell well? Uh, I don't know. That seems like a very interesting problem. To be honest, I probably would just choose a coffee that I liked, and I thought tasted well. I don't think I would be like, ooh, I'm gonna choose a dark and, you know, slightly acidic coffee that's mysterious and smoky. I don't know what kind of coffee you would be, but if you were a drink, definitely a matcha latte. You goofy. Well, thank you, thank you. I do love a good matcha latte. No, I like, you know, I like matcha lattes without the sugar. So, if I can just get the, you know, the tea and the cream, like, what is it, the whipped milk? What do they call it, froth milk? Yeah, froth milk. I think that's the ideal matcha latte. Whenever I, like, go to a place and get one, though, it's always super sweet. It tastes like a frappuccino or something. And, I'm like, you know, I like my drinks bitter, because they remind me that they're healthy. I don't know if that's like a true thing, but like good medicine tastes bitter. So if you're drinking something that's bitter, then it's either good medicine or like poison. So I don't know. I like my beverages bitter. I used to like them super sweet, but I guess my taste buds changed as I got older. The same thing with like alcoholic drinks. I used to hate beer. I thought like beer, oh, like disgusting. So bitter, like who drinks this? And then now I'm like, it's a perfect level of bitterness balanced with the malty sweetness. And same thing with like cocktails and stuff. I was like, ooh, I want something that's sweet and tastes like, you know, juice or soda. And then now I'm like, no, just give me like the straight alcohol. I want to taste it fully. Well, the lack of added sugars is definitely a good thing. It is. It, you know, definitely feel less bad about drinking a matcha latte when it doesn't have sugar. Though I do like, if they add like certain flavors. Though it's hard to get a flavor without the sweetener. Like, I've had lavender drinks, like lavender matcha lattes, and they're really good. Fruit punch moonshine is nice. I've never had fruit punch. I've had white lightning. And what was it? Like a strawberry moonshine? What was that company? There's like I think like a Texas company that makes moonshine. It's not Southern Star, Southern Shine, I don't know, something like that. And I was with some friends and they like whipped out the jar and were like, Zume, you need to drink this stuff. And I was like, what is it? And they're like, oh, it's moonshine. I was like, oh, you know, it's like that bootlegging stuff. Cool, is this like good or is it gonna make me blind? And they're like, no, this is legit. This is just like, you know, kind of like vodka, but whiskey kind of like corny vodka. And then I tried it and I was like, yeah, this is just corny vodka. It's kind of just like diluted Everclear. Oh, apple pie moonshine? I actually made some of that, kind of. After trying the strawberry stuff at my friend's place, I decided to make an apple pie drink, kind of, with like cinnamon sticks and what else did I have? It like chopped apples and stuff. in a big jug, and then mixed it with Everclear. It turned out really, really good. Yeah, I shared it with my roommates. Well, basically, I made it, and then like it was like a roommate project, I should say. Like I came up with the idea and bought the ingredients. Then we assembled it as a roommate team or unit, and then we waited for it to like infuse for like a week, and then eventually we threw a party and drank all the moonshine, and it was intense. It was very strong. No, yeah, I guess it's not proper moonshine because it was using Everclear, but you get what I mean. Still distilled from corn, basically the same thing. But that's just like a really yappy way of saying apple pie moonshine, very good. One of my favorite. I bet fruit punch would be pretty good too. Like I bet it would be very similar to what is it? Yeah, the strawberry that I had. Or pineapple. Yeah, pineapple in a drink. Low key, I feel like is an underrated flavor. Like if you ever bartend, you'll notice that canned pineapple juice is behind almost every bar, and it is low key one of the best mixers for any type of like anything. Yeah, anything. Pineapple juice, low key, because it's sweet, tangy, and it has a pretty mellow flavor that you can mix with a lot of things like lime or lemon or orange, like any type of citrus. You can mix it with other fruits and different syrups, and it tastes really good. Like it doesn't, because pineapple isn't a super strong flavor. It's a great like base or background flavor. Is that how Unc started learning how to make drinks? That was in the same year. I think this was afterwards though, because I think I got into bartending when I was a sophomore in uni, and then in the fall semester, and then I'm pretty sure we did the moonshine like thing in the spring semester, because I remember drinking it like sometime after winter break. Yeah. My gosh, looking back, I'm just looking at all the shenanigans that we got into as like the roommate squad, like 3 guys sharing an apartment, getting up to all kinds of shenanigans that would definitely get us in trouble these days. Bartending, yeah. Mm-hmm. What else? You don't seem like someone that would get in trouble. That's just because I'm older now. I think every guy when they're young, they're less wise, more impulsive. Yeah, very impulsive. Definitely less likely to have hormones in control. Yeah, all of those things. And then as you get older, guys, we're kind of like wine. We mellow out with age. Like we start off pretty aggressive, like in terms of flavor and yeah, being around. But then over time, we kind of mellow out. I guess that's probably everyone, right? You've been bestowed the Oji-san wisdom. I have. I've lived long enough to be able to look back at some stuff and be like, and laugh at it and realize, wow, I got away with way too much. Like, man, I've done some really, really probably not good things, and I probably have to make up for it, or at least pass it forward so that the next generation can have the opportunity to make those kinds of trouble, like causing trouble. I feel like isn't that like a stereotype that the people who act the most kind of reserved and collected were like pretty wild back in the day. Like for instance, you talk to your parents and they probably seem like really calm and collected. And then you look at photos of them when they were, I don't know, in their 20s. And you're like, my gosh, mom, you were a party animal. What happened? And it's just kind of funny because, like, your parents, they probably look at you and they're like, oh my gosh, I really hope my kid doesn't go through that phase. Though you're like, but now that I think about it, that phase was pretty, pretty educating. I learned what I like and what I don't like. Okay, so I am gonna take a quick break and grab some more tea. Actually, probably not more tea, just grab some water and I'll be back in like, I don't know, 30 seconds. See you in a bit. Okay, I am back, and, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Zume, Zume. Wow, you typed that super quick. Did you type that after I said it, or was it just like a coincidence? Okairi? Oh, okairi nasai. Tadaima. Good timing. Perfect. Oh my gosh, that reminds me how... I don't know how I got into this habit, but a lot of times when I'm leaving home, I will tell my dogs, I'll say, "Itekimasu," and they've kind of like recognized it now, and they're like, oh, he said the thing, that means he's gonna go and come back. And then when I get home, I say, "Tadaima." Man, it's so funny, because like, I don't even speak Japanese, but I thought it was just a cool thing to say. You gotta bug me later? Okay. Sure. I am available later. Depending on how late is later. What else? Oh, on that note, it's funny. I mentioned how I lost my my headphone case when I was running, I think last week. And I finally decided to get new headphones. And it's so funny because the ones I got, like, they're not really expensive or anything, but I really like that the voice assistant in them is like this super cute, like uwu kawaii anime girl voice. Like whenever I turn it on, it's like a cute uwu voice going, "Connected." And then when it's like pairing, it's like toot. I'm like, man, more like headphones need to just come with that feature, because it's low-key kind of awesome. Every time you put your headphones in, it's just, telling you this, or it says pause. That sounds so adorable. It is. It's very cute. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this assistant. So much better than Siri. Instant stress relief. It is. You just pop those in and then like throw on your music and then go running or something. It's a good time. No, to be honest, I was just thinking, like, can you imagine, like, dating someone who, like, had one of those ooh voices and they couldn't turn it off? Like, if that was just their natural voice and it was always that, like, high-pitched and I don't know, like, cutesy, I feel like after a while it would be really, really difficult to take them seriously. I don't think I'd be able to handle it. Same. I think like I would start to wonder if they're being serious, like especially if they get angry and they're like saying stuff in that cute voice. I would be a little bit confused. I think it would lose a bit of the appeal. It would. I feel like that was me and the French accent. Like when I was young, I was like, oh my gosh. Like I love that, like, you know, when someone with a French accent speaks, it's like velvet. And then, you know, I worked with like French people for a while and I got so used to the accent, I was just like, okay, it's just a European accent. It's okay. It definitely lost the appeal that it had growing up, because you know you always grow up and you have this mystique like, ooh, French is the language of romance and it's so sophisticated and cultured and all of these things, and then when you get used to it, it's just like, no, it's just another language. Yeah, I feel like having a permanent ooh voice would be a blessing and a curse. Probably more of a curse than a blessing. Like, you'd probably make a really great VTuber, but outside of that, it would just be, like, not very useful. It makes me think of a friend who always talks in mom mode. Love her lots, but she never turns off mom voice because her kids are usually around. When you say mom mode, like, is it mom or mommy? Like, is it like, it makes me think of a friend who always talks in mom mode. Love her lots, but she never turns off mom voice because her kids are usually around. Or is it like, you know, where they call them by their last name? She talks to everyone like she does her children. Oh, that mom voice. Like the, talking to a third grader. Slightly condescending. And, okay. Yeah, that would get annoying. I can understand that. I don't know. Whenever someone like does one of those voices, I'm just like, you know, I'm an adult, right? I say that. But I guess that there's probably a market for that. Because I know, like, at least on Twitch, a lot of people enjoy that kind of quirky, like, relationship, I don't know, quirky voice kind of thing. Slightly condescending caught me off guard. LMFAO. I mean, yeah, because when you're in, like, your mom voice or your dad voice, you're kind of talking down to people. Well, you're literally talking down to kids. But if you're doing it to other people, then you're kind of talking down to them. She's such a sweetheart, but mom voice can be a bit tiring sometimes. I bet. Man, now that I think about it, what would my dad voice be like? Okay. I feel like it would be the same. I'd be like, good job, son. You did good. Thanks. You're, you know, I'm proud of you. You know, things every kid wants to hear. And then when they get in trouble, I'd probably say, you know, son, I'm not mad. I'm just so disappointed in you. I expected you to do better. I thought I knew you better. I guess I don't. Okay, maybe that would be my dad voice, but I don't know. Is there a dad voice? Or is it like the nerdy dad voice who's like, oh, I can fix that? You're just gonna be the weird wine on with possibly a suspicious amount of cats. Hey, as long as you like spoil your nieces and nephews, you will be beloved. Considering there's Merle, there's already your dad voice. Yeah, I guess if you count a dog as like a kid, but yeah, I talk to him like a kid, but actually no, I don't really do that baby talk. I'm pretty just like, what's up, Merle? What are you doing? Sorry, I said that, and then he's behind me, so he looked at me. Yeah, but I don't know. Kids and parents, they have a different relationship nowadays. I feel like it's a lot more common for kids and parents to be friends rather than like have a strong hierarchical like structure. Yeah. So maybe that's changing. Yeah, at least in the West it is. I don't think in like Eastern countries, like I know in Japan, South Korea, China, there's still like a massive hierarchical like pressure to perform and fit a certain mold. But in the West, it seems like, you know, parents are being less rigid in enforcing like the parent-child hierarchy, and they more kind of like are going to being like a friend. I don't know, like a friend that your kid can trust. I don't know. I kind of have a mixed feeling about that. I feel like as a parent, the main purpose or goal is to raise your children to be as functional as possible without you, and that can be kind of really difficult if you're, you know, if you treat them as a friend rather than like a subordinate. My older brother and I are still under the hierarchy. Oh, I see. Wait, but you guys are adults. Well, what? I mean, how much hierarchy is there still as an adult? I say weird wine aunt, but I think I'll probably end up weird wine relative, since I think my brother also doesn't want kids later in life. Ah. Maybe it'll change. You know, I feel like guys, we don't have like a hard deadline to have kids, but I think every guy has a moment where they realize like, you know what, I want to experience that and see how it is. Especially when you have like friends and everyone having kids, and they're like saying it's so worth it and it's an amazing experience. Eventually, I think a lot of guys they're just like, you know what, heck it, I will make this 18-year commitment, and see how it is. Getting called in the evening to do work for him hierarchy. Oh, that sucks. Health-related things. I see. That's very responsible of you. Very responsible. He just can't stand kids. That might change with time. I used to also really dislike kids. And then after a while, I was like, you know, there's something about them that's kind of nice because they're very naive. And I don't want to say innocent, but they're a lot worse than adults at hiding intentions and deception. You know what I mean? So like, even if a kid tries to lie to you, it's very easy to catch them. and it's one of those things where it's just like it's kind of amusing because they're like a little person trying to do these things, and you're just like, oh, you realize you're a kid. You're not gonna get in that much trouble. Just be honest. Who knows? Okay. Struggle to take care of myself. Sometimes I don't think I'd be able to take care of a kid on time, especially with the sensations. So I treat my cats as kids. Yeah, as long as you're happy with that and content. I think everyone should do what makes them feel content. What else to talk about? I might look for something, for an idea. It's something I've known for a long time and okay with, just hard finding a person that lines up with. I see. I don't think it would be too bad. I think a lot of... Yeah. I think there's a good amount of guys who aren't really interested in kids. They have other things that they want to pursue. I think the harder thing is to know if that will ever change. Because I think a lot of people, during a certain time of their life, they're like, no kids. But then as they get older, those opinions or beliefs can change, which is very, I don't know. It can suck if you originally agreed on a relationship for a certain terms, and then one person changes, and then now the terms are no longer satisfied. That is the hard part. It is. People change, and you rarely can control how or, predict what's gonna happen. I mean, some things are predictable, but other things are not. Okay, let's see. What happened today? Oh. Random story. Ex-CIA official arrested over 40 million in gold bars. Wild. I wouldn't want them to give up their dreams for me, but I also can't risk my health for that. Yeah, that makes sense. It's about just finding someone that has goals that are aligned with yours. And then even knowing that, while things might be aligned currently, just keeping in mind, it might not be forever. It could be, it might not be, who knows. I don't know, I always think of life as kind of like an amusement park, where you go in, you kind of just show up there one day, and then there are people that greet you, who are your parents, your family, and they kind of show you around the amusement park, and you do various rides, and you encounter people in the lines and on the rides and stuff. But ultimately, everyone has different tastes on what rides they're going to do in life. Which people they're going to want to be around and things like that. So we can just think of it like, sometimes the time on the ride ends and, it's time to go and try something new. And you'll meet new people and go through that all over again. For better or worse, but usually I feel like it's for the better. What else? Cozy life, big garden, travel would be fun. It's funny. When I think of traveling, I'm like, I feel like traveling itself is not very fun, but seeing new things in person is very cool. Or I don't know if I'd call it fun, but it's cool. You're like, wow, I got to do this. And then you get to You know, you can officially say you've done that. You've been there and done it. You know, like walked on the Great Wall or something, or we're at the top of the Eiffel Tower. But the actual traveling part, I feel like is rarely fun because it's usually just very stressful and like, you know, random things happen a lot. Yeah. Someday I'd love to do a big road trip across the U.S. Oh, I have that as a goal as well. I really want to go to Alaska, like do a road trip all the way to Alaska, driving through, you know, British Columbia and everything. Yeah, I know it's far more efficient just to fly, but I thought it'd be really cool to see like the entire west side of North America. Hmm. Okay, let's look at something lighthearted. Wait, what? In British Columbia, schools warn of the dangerous Benadryl challenge that is impacting BC students. Hold on, I swear. This has to be a joke, right? On TikTok, there is a dangerous Benadryl challenge where someone tries to eat 12 Benadryl tablets at once and, you know, trigger hallucinations. I don't get it. Kids these days, why would they... Actually, I know why kids would do that, because you get bored and you just like, you know, you're like, ooh, I can, you know, feel kind of wonky if I do this, then they try it out. Very stupid though, super stupid. Hopefully kids don't actually do that. And like, hopefully it's more like the Tide Pod thing where it was memed more than it actually happened. Have you seen the video or the YouTube channel called Gaked? I think you'd like it. Cute animal videos that feel like looking at a memory? No, I haven't. Let me search it. Or Gawked. Oh, it's very nostalgic. It has that old 90s like VCR styling. Very nice. Okay, I will give it a look later. Love their videos. Ah. They make your eyes very watery though. Ah. Very cute animals that trigger the you know, the cute instinct. Okay. Man. Sorry, I was looking at some news stuff to see if there's anything interesting that could give me ideas of topics to talk about. And it just kind of depressing, except for one story, which is the White House pays tribute to the true patriot, Harambe, 10 years after the gorilla's death. You know, so Harambe has become a, you know, a national treasure at this point. That's pretty awesome. Wait. Did they really unveil like a bronze statue? Wait. Okay, let's use a local source. Oh, there's a lot of like statues of Harambe. He was a good guy. He rescued that kid. Have any good foods today? Not really. I'd have a tuna fish sandwich, or tuna salad. It was some like leftover tuna salad that I had, made with capers and egg and what else did I put in it? Yeah, not too sure, but it tasted good. Then I had, yeah, some pasta with my curry, and that was dinner. Very tasty. Oh, ate some spicy beef jerky, which was really tasty. I'm a fan of, some beef jerky every now and then. The only thing that's kind of like a downside is usually beef jerky is really salty. So like even if you just eat a few pieces, you end up getting like 30% of your day's worth of like sodium. You had a super ripe mango today. Ah, extra juicy then. I love the taste of mangoes, but I've always found like eating the fruit kind of difficult because you have to peel it first. And it's very juicy and sticky. So your hands are going to get really messy. And then it has that giant seed. So like you have to like cut around it. Or if you're like me as a kid, then you just like you peel it and then you just munch around the seed, and then like yeah, you just kind of chew on it a bit to get all of the flesh off. The skin peeled off easy, so wonderful, and I have 5 more. Oh, nice. Yeah, mangoes are good. I think the hard work is just the peeling. As long as that comes off easy, it's like yeah, it's really about the peeling. Gosh, it's so funny that Harambe has become a national treasure, that even, the president is talking about how he became a symbol of loyalty and strength and unity for a gorilla, of all things. He was a good gorilla, though. Yeah, don't know why they had to take him out. Yeah. Hot take, mango peels taste good. You always eat them? Wait, you eat it with the peel on? So I've done that before, but I usually don't do it. Mostly because the peel is kind of leathery. I think it's more of the texture than the flavor, because the flavor of the peel is kind of it has this like green flavor. It's like kind of grassy or leafy. But usually it's kind of tough, like leathery. So you have to chew it quite a bit. I don't know. But that is a hot take. Alright, take. That reminds me, for 1 week, I tried to eat bananas with the peel on. And I just did it to see how it would be. And not bad, actually. If you ever thought about it, wash a banana, like cut the ends off, and then eat the banana with the peel on. And it's a different experience. It's way less sweet. I don't know, but it's weird because you would think the peel is really bad, but it actually kind of tastes okay. Because I don't know, when did I try this? Oh, I tried it because I read that most of the nutrients in a banana are in the peel, and that if you want to maximize your potassium and your nutrient intake, then you should eat the peel as well. And I was like, bet. I'm gonna do this for a week, like and yeah. So it was funny because like my coworkers were like, Zume, you're eating a banana with the peel on, are you okay? And I was like, yes, I swear I'm not crazy. I'm just trying this thing just for this week to see, like, if my morning banana tastes better, or like if I feel better if I eat my morning banana with the peel on. Saying banana peel is out of my boundaries. Oh, it's not so bad, I promise. It's a little chewy, but flavor-wise, it's kind of like no flavor. maybe a very light banana flavor. But it does taste like, change the mouthfeel because it's very astringent. So like, you know how like certain foods like wine or cranberries, like when you eat them, they make your mouth feel dry? Banana peel is like that, where if you eat it, like your mouth will feel really dry, but it's also nice because it makes the banana feel like really wet. I'll try it tomorrow then. Oh. Let me know how it is, Arte. Yeah, make sure it's a ripe banana, like, you know, have some brown spots on it, that's okay, you know. If it's a green peel, it's probably gonna be nasty. You've been judged a lot for raw potatoes. I've eaten raw potatoes on accident before, where it was just undercooked. Like I completely misjudged the amount of time necessary to bake a potato. And then I was like, I should put this like back in, and then I ended up eating like half a raw potato because I was like, you know, maybe it'll get better. Washed and peeled, super crunchy. Yeah, I don't know. Raw potato reminds me of what is that? What is that tuber called? Jamaica? Not jicama? Tuber jicama. Okay, it is jicama. Or like I think they're called Mexican turnips, Mexican turnips or Mexican potatoes. Yeah, but raw potatoes remind me of jicama. Hikama? I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's hikama or jicama. Is it okay to eat raw potatoes? Yeah, you're not gonna get poisoned. So I was actually looking this up for some, oh yeah, because I had some potatoes that started to turn green. So when a potato turns green, it starts producing a lot of solanine, which is like a soapy agent that can cause serious stomach issues. So generally they're like, yeah, if a potato's green, don't eat it. And even if you cook it, it's going to still contain the toxin. So generally, if it's a green potato, toss it, or at least cut out the area that's green. But if it's like a white potato still, and you eat it and it's raw, it's fine. You're not gonna get sick. Okay, I will close that tab about Harambe, the true patriot. True patriot Harambe. Man, it's already been 10 years. Dang, okay. Have you been reading anything recently? I was reading something recently. I wish I remembered what it was. Oh my gosh. What was it? What was it? Ah, okay. So I was thinking of reading Marcus Aurelius's meditations on stream. Just to, you know, do it. It would be some type of content. And then, you know, commenting on it. So I was rereading parts of it and realizing like, oh, yeah, this is still very useful and still very good as like, I don't know, like a guide to stoicism or like the philosophy of a stoic. What else? What was else I was thinking of reading? There's something that I was going to add to my queue, but I completely forgot. what it was. I don't know. What about you, RT? Have you been reading anything? You're still fighting for your life with Mists of Avalon. And the next one is The Intellectual Life by Sertalanges. I've never heard of that one before. Let me look it up. The Intellectual. Oh, it's in the public domain? Okay, yeah, originally published 1921. Very interesting. Ah, okay, so they're teachings. This book is highly recommended not only for intellectuals, but also for students and those discerning their vocation in life. That sounds like a cool book. I'll have to look into it. So it's partially a book about, like, you know, figuring out what you want out of life. Very useful. You have a huge list. Gotta pick up more books. I am, I'm the Kindle reader guy. I just always have, like, my Kindle in my purse. And then when I get really bored, I don't want to say really bored. When I have time and I'm bored, I whip it out and read a few pages. The downside is it takes me a long time to finish books, and then sometimes I forget where I was and I have to reread a couple pages to get the context back. But it fits for now. What is this? Sorry, I'm just reading through the Intellectual Life, the preface or preface. Like this passage, do you want to do intellectual work? Begin by creating within you a zone of silence, a habit of recollection, a will to renunciation and detachment, which puts you entirely at the disposal of the work. Acquire that state of soul unburdened by desire and self-will, which is the state of grace of the intellectual worker. Without that, you will do nothing, at least nothing worthwhile. Yeah, that makes sense. So, I think it seems like this book is very much about, finding work rewarding in itself rather than for specific outcomes. Which I think it's a good ideal to strive towards. I know a lot of people, they choose certain careers because of, like, the status and things like that, or the money. And a lot of times they develop the skills to excel in that field, but, they will never be what I would call like a necessarily the best. Or I don't want to say the best, or like, for instance, like if you have a surgeon who doesn't really care about saving lives and they only care about money and the social status, then no matter how good they are, I would rather trust, like, my surgery with someone else. who is, less emotionally detached and more like aware of the significance of their work and how it impacts people. I want to read it for the intellectual journey, how to internalize knowledge instead of just consuming it. The next 2 books of a new series came out recently, and I've been meaning to pick them up. Oh, yeah, what series? And I feel you on that desire to like internalize knowledge instead of just consuming it. I feel like a lot of schooling just teaches you how to acquire knowledge and then use it, but it doesn't really teach understanding. Like if you understand how to use something in mathematics, you don't really know, like truly understand why it's the way that way, or like physics or something like that. Like you don't have an intuition. I think that's one of the, at least for me, that's how you know that you actually understand something, is that you don't really need conscious thought. You have like a gut intuition on how something works. And like even when you're given a new problem, you have a good idea of what's going on, like how it's going to be worked through, without having to like go through different steps and realize it. Yeah, I guess it's intuition. You know you've internalized something when you don't really need to think about it. You just kind of know what to do next. The series is The 12th World. It was originally based on a game where I played that the guy also wrote, but due to copyright he had to change some details. But it's still basically the same. Let me look at this book. The 12th World. A bizarre mission to travel into a dying king's nightmares forces a drifting veteran to confront his own trauma. The first book in the 12th World series, Dreams of Dying, is a slow-burning and haunting exploration of mental illness, morality, and the dark sides of humanity. 4.22 on Goodreads. The cover art looks really cool. Okay. One thing I loved was the audiobook was narrated by one of the voice actors from the game. It was his character's perspective as well, so it made my immersion happy. That's awesome. That reminds me of, I listened to the, what was it, No Witnesses? What was that audiobook? Let me look at it. Cyberpunk. No Coincidence, that's what it was. So there's an audiobook, that is read by Shermie Lee, who is the voice actress for the female V from Cyberpunk 2077. And I listened to the audiobook and really liked it. It was, it was interesting. It ended like most Cyberpunk stories. There were no winners. Everyone got steamrolled by the world. But having her read it, it was really nice. Felt like a continuation of the game. Highly recommend playing the game. It's called Enderall. It's a total conversion for Skyrim. Enderall. Oh, it is. Yeah, total conversion. That is cool. It looks really cool. Okay, it's on Steam. Enderall, Forgotten Stories. So that is... Okay. Yeah, I'm a sucker for some good lore and good writing. Especially when it's, if it's paced well, not too tropey. Yeah. That is cool. That is cool. I'll have to look into it. Wait. It's free? Oh, okay. You have to have Skyrim first. Okay. Yeah, since it's a Skyrim mod. Oh, okay. Yeah. Man, that reminds me. I've never actually beaten Skyrim. I played it, and then... Yeah, I don't know. I played through all of Oblivion, and then so when the remaster for Oblivion came out, I was like, yes, I love this game. It's so amazing. But then when I played Skyrim after Oblivion, I was like, it's not the same, you know? The world isn't as colorful. Like, no offense, but Skyrim as a like location kind of sucks. It's just like gray and dreary and rocky. Well, what is it, Cyrodiil? Awesome. Tons of variety. Yeah, there's like snowy places, there's the coast, there's, you know, forests, there's swamps, like, there's a little bit of everything in Cyrodiil. And I just couldn't get into Skyrim because I was like, the world is really drab and bleak. It's not very pretty, in my opinion. But this mod makes it look really, really cool. Like, there's tropics and stuff. You modded it a bit as well to make it extra pretty? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would have to try this out. I do like a good story. No, I think everyone is. Everyone likes a good story. Yeah, the mod has only positive reviews. Peak. That, you know, one word review that describes it. 140 hours on record. Okay, yeah. Makes sense. That reminds me of, do you ever read those, like, Steam reviews? Where, like, someone, like, posts a negative review on some game, and they will have, like, 500 hours played of that game, and they're like, yeah, I played this game for 500 hours, but it sucks. And I'm just like, dude, that doesn't make sense. If it sucked, you wouldn't have played for 500 hours. You're probably, you know, I've always kind of laughed at those reviews, but it's amusing whenever you see that hours on record, and it's like absurdly high, but the review is negative. Always trust the one-word reviews. Yeah. This one just says yay. Has multiple endings. Ooh. Completely new map. Oh, that's pretty cool. Dude, the audiobook for the first book in that series is like 24 hours too. That is a long audiobook. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think No Coincidences was like maybe 8 hours? Something like that. So 3 times as much. Do you ever feel like with audiobooks though, like you have to go back and rewind because like it feels like you don't pick up like certain things as quickly as you would while reading? I don't know if you get that feeling as well. Like I like audiobooks when it's like a cool actress, like voice actor or voice actress, that gives it that extra flair. But usually I just like reading books because then I feel like I understand it better. Because sometimes I get lost in the audiobook. It's a thick book. Thick with 3 C's. Dang, I believe the young people would call that dummy thick. Stupid thick. Foolishly thick, even. The young people. Yeah. Old man. I know. I promise, I'm not even that old. I'm just old at heart. I feel that though. Yeah. Oh, Unk. Exactly. I'm an Unk at heart. I mean, that's what you call everyone who's over, like, what is it? 27 or something? You're an Unk? And then everyone, what is it? The female equivalent is like an auntie, or if or like a hag. I feel like hags have been like a term used. At least the internet, they like to say hag Maxine. I'm hag Maxine. And it just kind of means like you're looking for an older woman. And what else? I was called a hag recently. I was said, "Oh, you shouldn't take it personally." I don't know why that was the word that was chosen for like the female equivalent of unk, but yeah, from what I can tell, it's just like anyone over their like late 20s is like a hag, especially over 30. For some reason, they're like, yes, everyone over 30 is old. And I don't know, because sometimes I look at young people sometimes and I was like, dang, you look older than I do. Like, what are you guys doing? Have you ever encountered that where you meet someone who's like pretty young and then you're like, wow, you look like, yeah, you look old, man. What are you doing to your face and your skin? OMG, yeah, all the time. It's crazy. Like, I don't know. I think it might be correlated to like the Sephora kids thing. Like, have you noticed like girls are starting to use makeup younger and younger and younger? And like I know at Sephora it's a big issue because they'll go in and like ransack the store and stuff, trying out all the testers. But yeah, I'm just like, starting that early on makeup and like, anti-aging serums when you're a teenager, probably not gonna be good for you in the long run. Like it'll age you like it'll age you like a brick. Dude, I think it was like 2 years ago, one of the times I was at the store, the cashier asked me how high school is going. That's awesome. That's a good feeling. It's like, whenever I get carded for like buying alcohol or something, I'm like, oh, thank you, ma'am, thank you, sir. You're making me feel all young again. I'm just like, I graduated in 2015. Interesting. We're pretty close in age then, like surprisingly close. Ah, yeah. Old souls trapped in younger bodies. Posture check? Oh, am I slouching? Let me stretch in. There we go. There we go. Too much yapping. Make sure you're sitting straight. I am. I have surprisingly good posture, I would say. It's funny because like the reason I do is because I was told I slouched when I walked as a kid, and it made me look uglier. So like I consciously put in effort in elementary school to develop like very good posture while sitting and standing. And now like I don't know, sometimes I look like I'll say it seems like I sit up a bit too erect. Like when I'm driving, I will see people and they will be like leaned way back like this. And I'm like, how do you guys do that? Like, for me, the seat is pretty upright. Like, I have it set like it's almost like a kitchen chair or something that you sit in. Yeah, because you have to have good posture. And the same thing with the desk. Like, even though I can lean back, I really don't. I pretty much always try to sit up upright. The only downside is when I'm like working on something and looking down, I will definitely crane my neck. Peak compliment. It is. Being asked if you're still in high school, that is pretty peak. I don't mind looking young, but I don't need people thinking I'm a teen. I feel you on that, because then you're like, oh, what if I'm gonna meet someone and they think I'm too young to like, approach or talk to? Now that I think about it, that's probably like a real thing that women have to worry about. Like if you look too young, then like especially if you're very petite, then yeah, guys will probably just assume you're like, underage and not to talk to you. And that could probably be really like damaging to like one's psyche, because you probably would think you're ugly, but it's like, no, you just look young. There's also the alternative. I've had this happen where like I for a long time thought I was really ugly, but then I found out that people just thought I was like very intimidating. They were like, "Oh, it's just very intimidating. Like you look very how can I say it? Put together." And so they would often be intimidated to like come up and talk to me. But then once they talk to me, they're like, "Wow, this guy is like super friendly and not stuck up or anything." Yeah. So I've been trying to make myself look more approachable. I found that it's all about body language. hmm And looking super calm and like you don't care. Such good posture. hmm hmm Since then, I've developed the tired, dead eyes and dark circles, so I'm good now. That works, that works. Now everyone knows. The RBF, but actually can't see, and I'm squinting at everything. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's kind of hilarious. Yeah, I've met someone who had some of the strongest RBF, and they had this voice where, like, I couldn't tell if they were always being sarcastic or not. Because they were so low energy and deadpan. Like, imagine Aubrey Plaza as like a person. Wait, I mean she is a person, but like imagine Aubrey Plaza and then meeting that as like a person in real life, and they say something kind of like out of pocket. They're like, "Wow, I'm so excited to do this," and you're like, "Are you messing with me? You're messing with me, right?" And they're like, "No, I'm being serious." And you're like, why do you keep saying it like that, man? or miss, and it can get really confusing. Eventually, I was just like, you know what? I just gotta take them at their word. Like, even if their body language and their voice is giving me completely like sarcastic vibes, I just have to accept that they're being like honest and just kind of not, not yeah, just really bad at, I guess, not sounding deadpan. You gotta get new glasses? As they say, check yearly to see clearly. I feel like the eye doctor is one of the few doctors I regularly visit. Because I'm like, yeah, if I don't visit you, then I don't get like my prescription for contact lenses renewed. And then I have to go back to glasses. And I don't know. I have a thing about glasses. I think they're inferior in vision quality to contact lenses. I don't know if that's a hot take, but like I feel like I can see clearer with lenses than with or with contacts than with glasses. Like, I don't know. Glasses just, they can get dirty, and you know, they can develop scratches, they can have glare, which is really bad. Well, if you're wearing like contacts, then you get none of those things, and your peripherals are just as like clear as like your center vision. Nonchalant people have that Moe gap. They do. It's so hard. It's so hard to tell. Like with some people, you're like, they would make amazing comedians because you wouldn't be able to tell when they're joking and when they're being serious. But having one as a friend can be kind of confusing until you just come to trust them at their word. Contacts make me too nervous. Is it the putting things in your eyes kind of thing, or the story they used to tell people like, oh, if you sleep in your contacts, the lens will get stuck in your eye and you'll need to get surgery to get it yanked out. I remember when like the optometrists were saying that, and now they have like contacts that people just sleep in for like a week straight. Actually, and I've met people who just like sleep in contacts. I'm like, I don't know how you do that. My eyes end up super dry. I have to take them out. You have the transition lenses with the brown tint. Oh, nice. Super light sensitive, so the brown tint lenses make such a big difference. Putting things in my eye plus being forgetful. Yeah, for me, it's, I don't know. I got onto contacts when I was super young. Like, I don't know. I think the earliest you can get them is like, was like junior high, middle school. Um, and it was mostly a convenience thing because I kept breaking glasses as a young kid. Because I would get in, like, I don't know, I'd get in altercations. Young Zume got into altercations, and I've broken several pairs of glasses like that. So it was kind of a convenience thing where it's like, if I'm wearing contacts, then I can't break any more glasses. Got the nightly contacts, low-key, super comfy. That's why I'm wondering, like, I know they have the nightly contacts where you're supposed to, like, sleep in them, but I always wonder, like, do your eyes get dry? Like, I have regular contacts, and if I sleep in them even for, like, I don't know, a nap, like an hour-long nap, when I wake up, like, my eyes are bloodshot, and I'm like, oh, I need to, like, squirt some, like, saline or something into them. Very blue eyes. They look nice, but they suck even remotely for bright days. I've heard about that. So I was watching a video about like the disadvantages and advantages of the different eye colors. And one of them was that blue eyes, you tend to have better night vision than brown eyes, but you are much, much, much more prone to glare and discomfort during bright days. Which is why, like, I guess maybe that's why blue eyes developed in like northern regions where there's less sunlight, and then brown eyes are very common in like desert areas. No, not really. Okay, I might have to try that out. I'll have to talk to my optometrist about cool nightly contacts, because that would be really convenient to not have to, you know, remember to put them in and just be able to, like, you know, squirt a little juice in the eye to re-wet it or something. I just can adapt to contact lenses and my eyes got super dry. My nerd self can't part ways with glasses. I mean, I still wear glasses all the time. I'm one of those people who basically wears sunglasses every time I go outside, or else I end up squinting, and yeah. Bright days equal migraines. I can feel that. Yeah, pretty much the only time I don't wear sunglasses is if it's night out or if it's very, very cloudy and dark. Otherwise, like, I don't know, I've always worn sunglasses, which I think it's kind of funny saying it, because I know in other countries, it's very abnormal to wear sunglasses. Like, if you're in, I don't know, like if you're walking around Tokyo or London and you have sunglasses on, there's like a different stigma. Like, people are going to probably think you're American, because Americans love sunglasses for some reason. And then, yeah, that was one of those things, like, foreign friends have told me is the easy way to identify an American is they smile and they wear sunglasses. What other stuff to talk about? Sorry, I'm just stretching right now. Okay, that was a good stretch. Very nice. So, does anyone have any interesting movies or plans that they're thinking of doing? I'm trying to think about topics. It's hard, right? Just random things to yap about. I mean, I could yap about anything, but the question is whether or not you guys would find it interesting. Anything Uncle wants to yap about is interesting? Is it? Oh, it's funny. Like, I used to do this basically during lunch. Whenever I was working in a corporation, um, I made it a rule that I would never eat at my desk. So, personally, as a rule, I've seen way too many people who eat lunch at their desk and then end up doing no socializing at work. And I'll be honest, that's not the way to do it. I don't care like how locked in you are. You will like go like up the corporate ladder much more quickly if you socialize with your coworkers and develop a good rapport. Yeah, regardless. So I made it a personal rule to never eat lunch at my desk and always eat it with coworkers. And even if like, you know, people I hang out with were out, I would just like go to someone randomly in the lunchroom and then like sit down and talk to them. But I bring this up because I also have the habit in real life to just yap about random things. And they were like, it was really nice because when you sat down, Zume, like we didn't have to really think of things to discuss. You would just like bring up random topics and then talk about it. And then, yeah, it was very comfortable. And I was like, oh, well, thank you. But always interrupt me if I'm being annoying. Usually what I would bring up during lunch was just like random things that had happened in the news. And been like, oh, did you guys hear about this or that? Yeah, did you hear about like, you know, blah, blah, blah? And then I would talk about things, or I would talk about random things I had been listening to. Like, yeah, like explaining to a coworker what a VTuber was back when I was discovering what they were. Man, that was an interesting lunch day. Because people are like, wait, what is VTubing? So it's basically just presenting yourself with a digital avatar. And then, yeah, like, and then they were very confused at what the point was. Like, what's the point? And they're like, I don't know. Like, people like it. They like doing it. Is there really a point to anything other than that? Socializing at work is one of the things ever. It's something that everyone needs to develop the skill. Like, you don't realize how much of your socializing happens at work until like you become unemployed and you're like, dang, I don't really talk to anyone outside of like minor small talk. Yeah, but like socializing at work is how you get invited to like weddings and, you know, different events and, you know, friendly dinners with coworkers. And then, you know, you develop like your coworkers go from being colleagues to being actual friends that you can rely on and count on. And vice versa, they'll rely and count on you and stuff. How do you explain VTubers? Usually, I think the easiest way is to pick one that you like, maybe a say-so one, and then show them a clip and be like, see, this is a VTuber. They're like a streamer or YouTuber, but typically anime themed and often playing a character. And then I try to say like, it's kind of like, you know, the actors at like a Disney theme park where they play like a character, but there's also like the real person underneath that shines through the character they're portraying. And a lot of the appeal comes from, I don't know, getting close to that person underneath, right? Yeah, I feel like that's one of the big appeals. Versus like, you know, you look at a regular streamer and you know they're putting on oftentimes putting on like an act or a persona that they do, and then offline they're like a completely different person. Well, it feels like with VTubing, because there's some level of anonymity, people are more likely to let their real self kind of like slip through the mask, and I think that's part of the appeal. I am the anime. Yes, I am the anime guy. Or I am the cute anime girl. Sleeping Dogs is on sale. Good game. Worth it on sale. I think I got it on a sale as well. I mean, you've already beaten it several times, John. No need to buy it again. Yeah, I feel like buying games on sales and then building up your like Steam, what is it, your Steam library, that's the secret. Like, it's rarely worth buying a game on release unless you just really, really, really want to play it with like some friends, versus when you wait like a year or two, the game is going to be just as good. It'll be more optimized. And if it's a single player game, you know, you can just play it at your own pace. You don't need to play it at a release. So, I don't know, that's what I've been trying to move to. Like, it's kind of rarely I buy games on release now. Forza Horizon 6 was one of the few ones, just because I was really excited for it because it was set in Japan. This is the reason why I got 100% got all achievements. Square Enix was like, holy crap, this guy 100% got all achievements in 13 years, put it on sale. Yeah, they were like, oh, this guy got he won 100% of the game. Okay, we're gonna throw a commemorative sale. I don't know, I think Steam just has like a pricing algorithm that they use. They're like, oh, there's not that many sales this month. We're gonna throw in a flash sale of like, you know, 10% off or something. Because I think, yeah, Steam's pricing algorithm is definitely like determined by popularity or like something. Because sometimes like they will raise prices and you're like, oh, everyone's talking about this game on like Twitch or YouTube, and then like there are no sales, and then after like a month, once the hype dies down, boom, there's a sale. It's very genius, very smart, helps fund Gabe N's deep sea diving adventures. Oh man, that reminds me, I was looking at stuff on Facebook Marketplace the other day, and someone was selling, what is it, a PS2, like an old school PS2, and like 50 games for like $50, and I was so tempted to buy it. Like, I really was like really tempted, because I was like, oh my gosh, that feels like a steal with everything still working. None of the discs are too scratched to play. Like, you get the memory cards too. And then I realized, oh man, everything I use is like digital. So I would need to have like an RCA to digital adapter, and those things look like garbage. So I would also need to pick up like a CRT or something that takes analog inputs that can properly display the game in its like true original glory. You still have my PS2 core memories? I really want to play, what was it? Final Fantasy X, like the original one again. Because, yeah, I mean, the cutscenes and stuff, the models, when they did the remaster, ooh, thank you for the head pats. But whenever they did the remaster for Final Fantasy X, they had apparently the studio lost all of the original assets. They just deleted the original code, and they couldn't recover it. So when they did the remaster, they had to redo all of the models from scratch. And so that's why like cutscenes and like the models themselves look different. So if you have them side by side, let me show an example. Final Fantasy X original versus remaster. Images. Okay, here we go. This one is kind of obvious. It makes it very obvious. Okay, so here on the left side, okay, let me just open it. Okay, I'm pretty sure. So left side is the original, Right side is the remaster. Like, you can tell the eyes are a different shape, the eyebrows are different, the nose is different, the mouth is different. Like, they changed so much because they lost the original source code and the original, all the models and everything like that. And yeah, I was like, dang, that sucks. That's like lost work. And I was just like, why do these companies just like, why don't they just put it in a hard drive or something and then keep it in a storage closet? Like, come on, the entire like game's files probably isn't more than like, I don't know, like 100, like for a PS2 game, probably less than 100 gigabytes. It's probably like, I don't know, 10 gigabytes max. And they just decided to like throw it away? Like, why? Why would you do that? And I know there's a big controversy right now because there was like a Nier Automata video game that, or like a mobile game that came out and then was shelved. And now there's a big controversy because there is like someone who basically recreated the entire game's back engine code and published it, and then people are like, in Japan that's considered theft. So there's a huge debate on whether or not, you know, if a game gets shut down, then is it okay for someone to like reverse engineer it and then put it up for free for everyone to use? I don't know. In my opinion, I think it is, but they even changed the face shit. Exactly. Like, I was playing the remaster and then I was like, it's not the same. It like legit looks different. Like, I don't know. It's not the same. So that's why I'm like, you know, sometimes you can't beat the originals. You just have to go back, hop on one of those consoles now that they're really cheap, like $50. That's a pretty good price for a working PS2. And yeah, enjoy the games in their like classic glory. It's like I don't know. It's kind of like, it's weird because, you know, the PS2 and stuff is going to be considered retro in like 10 years, if it isn't already considered retro gaming. So anyone who does that will be considered a retro gamer. It is a sweet deal. Yeah, I'm tempted. Very, very tempted. Yeah, and then just looking at the design of the old consoles, they were so like utilitarian in like a nice way. Like, if you ever look at the PlayStation 1, it looks like something you would see in a car. Like, it has like a big start button on off, like a big eject button, you know. The disc trays had little lids that like popped up, or they had like an actual tray that slid out, versus newer like disc things, it's like you just slide the disc in through a slot and then it does something. You should go for it. I'll look for a CRT TV first. If I can find a TV for a good price that isn't insanely heavy, yeah, I might do it. I do like CRTs just in general. They're like a vibe. Like, the image quality isn't as good, but the motion quality on CRTs is like super good. There's like no motion blurring. It's crazy what, you know, 60 FPS on a on like a CRT looks like compared to like 60 FPS on an LCD. What else? What else can I talk about? Actually, now that I think about it, it's already been close to 3 hours. So I will probably end up calling it a stream and sending you guys on a raid somewhere. Let me find someone. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. stretch. Okay. Okay, we're gonna filter by cozy. Oh, thank you for the head pats, Arte. Thank you, thank you. Okay, sort by... let me find one. Good night, Pants. Good night, Pants. Yeah, I can't find anyone of about similar size. So, I will just send you guys to the Lo-Fi Girls channel. And keep up the cozy vibes. Well, this has been Zume having some tea time, and thank you everyone who stopped by to chat. I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow. See ya!